Lamian Elegante sat on the edge of Maple Falls, Vermont, where old money came to ski and escape summer heat. The chandeliers cast golden light across white tablecloths and faces that belonged on magazine covers. Marcus Cole had worked there for 8 months. At 34, he carried himself with quiet steadiness that made him easy to overlook. He moved between tables with practiced efficiency, invisible to wealthy patrons. In another life, invisibility had been a survival skill. Here it was simply part of the job. Tonight was Friday. Marcus had requested the late shift because his daughter Lily could sit in the alcove near the kitchen doing homework. She was 7, with her mother's blonde hair and her father's watchful eyes. Sarah had been gone for 3 years, taken by a car accident that left Marcus alone with a toddler and crushing grief. He had rebuilt their life piece by piece, moving until they landed here. The trouble started at table 12. Preston Whitmore III arrived with 4 guests, including Claire Ashford, who had been dating him for 3 months. Preston was 42 and had never worked a day in his life. His grandfather built a real estate empire. Preston learned only how to spend what others earned. By 9 o'clock, he had consumed most of a bottle of wine and was growing loud. Marcus approached with the second bottle. He had almost completed the pour when Preston suddenly gestured. His elbow caught Marcus's arm. Red wine splashed across the tablecloth and Preston's Italian shoes. The silence stretched like something physical. Preston looked up, his face red. "You clumsy piece of trash," he said, his voice carrying across the room. "Do you have any idea what these shoes cost?" "I apologize, sir. Let me get something to clean that immediately." Marcus kept his voice even. "Sorry. People like you don't understand value." "Sir, I'll have the manager bring complimentary wine and cover any cleaning costs." In the alcove, he could see Lily looking up, her face tight with confusion. That was when Preston's foot connected with Marcus's stomach. The kick drove the air from his lungs. He dropped to one knee. The dining room went silent. Marcus looked up at his daughter. Lily had stood, her worksheet falling to the floor. Her eyes were wide, and Marcus could see the moment when something in her understanding cracked open. "Stay there, sweetheart," he managed. "Just stay there." Preston laughed. "See that? That's how you handle the help." Claire watched Marcus rise slowly, and something about the way he moved made her breath catch. There was no fear in his posture. He stood the way a man stands when choosing not to do something. The manager appeared. "Sir, please let me handle this." "Marcus, take your break." "No," Preston said. "I want him to apologize properly." On his knees. Marcus looked at Preston, and something flickered behind his eyes. Something much quieter, like the stillness before a storm. He did not kneel. "I apologize for the wine, sir," Marcus said clearly. "But I won't be kneeling." Preston's face contorted. "What did you say?" "I won't be kneeling. Not for you. Not for anyone. I could destroy you." Marcus turned and walked toward Lily. He gathered her gently, collected her backpack, and carried her toward the exit. "Don't you walk away from me," Preston shouted. Marcus kept walking. The parking lot was mostly empty. Marcus knelt so he could see Lily's face, brushing hair from her wet cheek. "No, sweetheart. I didn't do anything wrong." "Then why did that man hurt you?" "Sometimes people with money think that gives them the right to treat others badly. It doesn't." "Why didn't you hit him back?" "Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is not fight. Hitting that man would have felt good for 3 seconds, but then police would come and I might go to jail and you would be alone. Some things matter more than making someone pay for being cruel." "Mr. Cole." Claire stood near the door. "I wanted to give you these for your daughter." She held up a handkerchief. "Thank you." What he did was wrong. And yet no one stopped him. She flinched. "No, we didn't. Can I ask you something? You were trained, weren't you? Military. I saw the way you moved." Marcus looked at his daughter. "I made a promise. A long time ago, I promised I would never use what I learned in front of her. Tonight almost broke that promise. Why not defend yourself?" "Because if I had, Your boyfriend would be in a hospital right now, or worse. And my daughter would have watched her father become something I swore I would never be again. The next morning, the manager called. Given the circumstances, we feel it's best if we part ways. Mr. Whitmore has made it clear he'll make trouble if you stay. Marcus thanked him politely. Lily appeared in pajamas. Because of the mean man? Yes. She climbed into his lap, wrapping her arms around his neck. I'm sorry, Daddy. It's not your fault. Over following days, Claire thought about Marcus constantly. She asked questions around town, learning he kept to himself, that people mentioned he walked with eyes scanning surroundings, like someone perpetually assessing threats. Preston, meanwhile, dined out on the story, each retelling more embellished. 2 weeks later, Marcus had found work at a hardware store. Walking through the farmer's market with Lily, he saw Preston, drunk at 11 a.m. Marcus changed direction, but Preston spotted him. Well, the clumsy waiter. Preston inserted himself in their path. I heard they fired you. Good. Please step aside. My daughter doesn't need to see this. Preston reached out, ruffling Lily's hair. Cute kid. Does she know her daddy's a coward? Marcus moved smoothly, catching Preston's wrist and redirecting it. Don't touch her. Something in his tone made Preston's smirk falter. Preston tried to pull free but couldn't. If you touch my daughter again, or come near either of us, I will respond. And you will not enjoy my response. He released Preston's wrist with a small push that sent him stumbling. This isn't over, Preston said. Goodbye, Mr. Whitmore. 3 nights later, Preston found Marcus at Callahan's bar with 2 hired men. You embarrassed me, Preston said. I'm going to teach you a lesson tonight. Marcus stood slowly. Last chance. Walk away. Preston nodded to his men. They moved simultaneously. Marcus shifted, ducked the punch, caught an arm. A twist, a pivot, and the first man was airborne, crashing into his partner. Before they recovered, Marcus delivered 2 precise strikes. Both went limp. The exchange took less than 3 seconds. Preston stared, face white. What are you? I warned you. At the restaurant at the market just now. You refused to listen. I'm calling the police. Your employees attacked me first. Ruth saw everything. The camera recorded everything. How do you think that plays? Preston stormed out. Ruth stared. What in the holy hell was that? Claire heard about it and tracked down Ruth, who told her everything. That was military training. Serious training. He could have killed them. Instead, he put them down as gently as possible. Claire found Marcus. Preston's talking about pressing charges. I've dealt with worse. Who are you really? I was a soldier. When my wife got sick, I got out. I promised her I would be a different kind of man for our daughter. But you still have the training. The training never leaves. The difference is choosing when to use it. I controlled the situation with minimum force. I think I can help. I have information about Preston he wouldn't want public. Why help me? Watching you choose not to fight changed something in me. Police interviewed Marcus, but Preston's men gave conflicting statements. Ruth's account showed self-defense. No charges were filed. Claire quietly gathered evidence. Financial records. Testimonies from former employees. 3 weeks later, an exposé dropped in a national magazine. Within hours, Preston's family removed him from all positions. The district attorney announced an investigation. Preston Whitmore III had been brought down not by violence but by truth. The kick at Lamian Elegante had set everything in motion. That evening, Marcus and Lily sat in the park. Daddy, are you still strong? He thought about the control it had taken. Strong enough to choose peace. That's all the strength that matters. I think you're the strongest daddy in the whole world. Claire found Marcus at the hardware store the next day. I'm leaving Maple Falls. Going back to Boston. I wanted to thank you for showing me what real strength looks like. I just tried to be the kind of man my daughter could be proud of. That's exactly what made it special. 6 months later, Marcus had become a fixture in Maple Falls. Tom promoted him to assistant manager. Lily made friends, joined soccer, learned piano. The apartment accumulated photographs and drawings. This was home now. On a Saturday morning in spring, Marcus and Lily walked into a new restaurant. The hostess smiled warmly. Lily ordered chocolate chip pancakes. Marcus ordered eggs and toast. "Daddy," she said between bites, "I think we're going to be okay." Marcus squeezed her hand. Outside, Maple Falls was waking to a beautiful morning. People walked dogs. Shop owners swept sidewalks. It was an ordinary morning in an ordinary town. And that ordinariness felt like the greatest gift Marcus had ever received. "I think so too, sweetheart." They finished slowly, in no hurry. When they left, Marcus held the door for an elderly couple. The morning sun was warm on their faces as they walked down Main Street. Father and daughter, heads held high, belonging to this place. And in that ordinary moment, Marcus Cole understood something profound. True power did not announce itself. It did not need witnesses or validation. It simply existed, quiet and certain, waiting to be called upon only when all other options had been exhausted. It was the power to choose peace when war would have been easier. It was the power to walk away when walking away looked like weakness. It was the power to protect without destroying, to defend without attacking, to win without fighting. And when that power was finally revealed, it did not shout or celebrate. It simply silenced the room and let the silence speak for itself.